BTS can chart a #1 hit whenever they want. So now what? BTS continued to rule over the Hot 100 this week with their single Butter, which now stands as the longest running #1 song of the year in America. The tune has controlled the tally for 9 non-consecutive turns, only stepping aside for 1 frame to allow the same band's other track, Permission to Dance, to debut in the first place. The group has managed 5 chart rulers in the past year, with almost every tune they've designated a proper single, rising all the way to the summit on the most important songs ranking in the US. In fact, starting with Dynamite last year, 4 of BTS's 5 solo singles have debuted at #1 on the Hot 100, and they scored an additional champion as a featured act on an already rising tune. At this point, it would seem strange for a new track that's promoted as a single to fail to hit the top of the charts. Now that BTS seem to be able to send any single to #1 in the largest music market in the world, what's left for them to do on the Hot 100 in America? More chart toppers. What's next for BTS? More likely, more #1 hits. The septet have already scored 5 #1 hits, a sum that makes them one of the most successful groups of all time. But they're not done yet. In the coming months or even years, the band could easily improve that number significantly. Seeing that they've landed a quintet of controllers in less than 12 months, who's to say they won't repeat the feat at least once more? In the coming years, BTS could conceivably double their total number of Hot 100 #1s, as they show absolutely no sign of slowing down, either in terms of releasing smashes or hitting the peak position. Korean singles. So far, just one of BTS's Hot 100 chart toppers isn't primarily performed in English. That's not shocking for the American music market, but their biggest wins in the US are somewhat separate from the rest of their musical output. The South Korean boy group typically performs in their native tongue, while they've made inroads when it comes to introducing Americans to the language. Most listeners still have a long way to go before they're really used to hearing it on the radio and through streaming services. After debuting the Korean language single Life Goes On at #1, BTS proved that scoring a foreign language chart topper isn't impossible. And as they become even more sure of themselves and their ability to start a new release atop the tally, they may choose to dole out more Korean tracks for the American market. Japanese hits. In addition to recording music in both Korean and English, BTS also share tunes in Japanese and sometimes even full collections. The group scored a Hot 100 hit earlier in 2021 with the song Film Out, which marked their first appearance on the tally in that language. These are early days for BTS landing big wins in America and in Japan, but the future could see them collect their first top 40 hit, top 10, or even a #1 in a third tongue. Making history. It seems like with every new single BTS place on the Hot 100, they make history in at least one way, though usually in several manners. With future songs, the group will absolutely continue to rewrite the chart annals, especially with more #1 smashes. Depending on when they collect their next champion, the septet could conceivably break records for the most rulers in a certain span of time. The most leaders among non-soloists, or possibly even for hitting number one the most times in a single calendar year. BTS is also sure to continue making history on a multitude of other Billboard charts, not just on the Hot 100, though the focus usually seems to sit squarely on the biggest and most closely watched tally. Milestones. From here on out, every new hit on the Hot 100 increases BTS's career totals, which are forever expanding it. The band needs 2 more top 10s to reach double-digit placements in the area. Eventually, they could double their number of number ones to 10 as well, joining an exclusive club. They're currently sitting pretty at 22 Hot 100 wins, but that sum will definitely grow, perhaps to 25, 50 or beyond. There are countless milestones to be reached by BTS, and the only thing keeping them from hitting these marks at the moment is time.